Good morning. It's 7:30. Welcome to Breakfast with Bridgett on this Thursday, Leap Day, February 29th, 2024. It only comes around every 4 years, so happy Leap Day to you out there. And, watch out for any fake ads out there that might be saying that you have some great freebie or something coming up on February 30th, because there is no February 30th. But we are waking up really nice out here this morning, and we have some really interesting health news coming up a little bit later. I'm going to talk to a doctor live about a treatment that's now available to children that no longer requires sedation. And if that's, something that is worrisome to you as a parent, and you know that maybe your child needs a certain type of health care or treatment that might require them to be sedated, this is a promising option. So we'll talk to a doctor live in a few minutes. But first, we want to start with meteorologist Candace Campos. And it is feeling just very seasonal out there this morning. But we had a little bit of fog this morning, too.
Yeah, we're still dealing with some of that patchy fog across Central Florida right now. We were watching a cold front, Bridget, that's coming through Central Florida, barely coming through Central Florida, I should say. And that's going to be keeping the cloud cover in place today, as well as just a slight chance of rain along our coastline. But the one thing this front is doing is moving our winds in from the north. So yesterday they were coming in from the south. Today they're veering out of the northeast, and that is why temperatures today will be staying closer to normal than well above normal. So let's take it to the map, show you what's going on right now across Central Florida. Right now we're starting off pretty much in the 60s all across Central Florida. That's where that cold front currently is situated, right overhead. And because of that, rain chances for today, although pretty minimal across most of Central Florida, we can't completely rule it out. Temperatures at this hour are in the 60s. But again, the direction of our wind is really what's going to play a big role in our temperatures for today. Out of the northeast, between 10 to 15 miles per hour. We are anticipating gusts upwards about 20 to 25, especially along our coastline. So along with that breeze, a more onshore breeze could pick up some lingering showers from that front that's basically stalling out overhead. So we're going to keep chance of rain at about a 10 to 20% right there along our immediate coastline. Areas in eastern Orange, eastern Seminole County could maybe sneak a little shower or two today, but for the most part, we are looking mostly dry. But we are going to continue to juice up our atmosphere a little bit. Our winds will turn more southwesterly as we head into Friday and Saturday. And you can see a couple of those fast-moving showers can't be ruled out, as we are watching the progress of another system to our north that will continue to kind of inject a little more moisture into our atmosphere. So coming up, weekend rain chances do go up to about a 40 to 50%. And the reason is because of an area of low pressure that will be developing across the deep south. You can see that boundary stretching still way north of our area, but we are watching kind of that tail end, that lower fringe of some moisture that will continue to clip parts of Central Florida. So come Saturday and Sunday, rain chances are a little higher the further north you are, because that's where most of the moisture will be. So our southern zone, south of Orlando into Osceola, Brevard, your rain chances will be a little lower. So we're going to keep it as kind of the average. Saturday and Sunday rain chances will be about 40 to 50%. Highs throughout the next 7 days are going to be staying near 80 degrees. With that being said, it's not going to be a washout. I know we have the Daytona Bike Week going on. We've got a lot of events going on outside. It is the first weekend of March. So I know a lot of people like to just be outdoors. The weather tends to be pretty nice. Temperature-wise, it's not going to be bad. It's just keeping the rain gear, a quick little umbrella in your back seat for the next couple of days. It's not a clean-looking forecast where we can see sunshine and dry weather across the board. It's just going to be spotty. Nothing to really cancel any outdoor plans. I have one of our producers has a first birthday party outdoors this weekend, so she's been hounding me on what the weather forecast is going to be looking like Saturday. But again, it's going to be one of those things that maybe a shower comes through, you have to bring everything inside for a few minutes, and then you're back out. It's not going to be a deluge of rain in the forecast.
Good. Very nice. Well, and we could use some rain. Just don't want it all
Certainly.
weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen my grass? I am watering that lawn as many times as I'm allowed to. And it's still it's so
pitiful
crispy
right now. Yeah.
It's
that
so
time
bad.
of year.
Yeah.
It'll be
I hope the
spring
HOA
soon.
just looks away when they drive past my house.
Yeah. Yeah. That's always, it's just so dry. But
It
hopefully that
is.
rain will get some of the
And we'll
pollen
we'll
out
take it.
too. Yeah.
That's true. This isn't going to be like a pollen dropping kind of weather forecast like we had a couple weekends ago. So keep the allergy pills
Yeah.
and the nasal sprays going. Yeah.
All righty then. All right. Thanks, Candace.
You're welcome.
Okay, we want to check in with Trooper Steve. We had a pretty good morning this morning, traffic wise. And you also, Steve, talked about tint a little bit, window tint. That was your Ask Trooper Steve today. So we learned a few things.
Yeah, a little few things going on. Roadways aren't too bad. We had a nice Thursday. So I would call today a decent day when it came to the traffic and roadways. We're seeing those mild routine delays, but nothing crazy. You can never predict the traffic
Mm-hmm.
side of things. I wish I had some of the data and the maps that Candace has so I could see what tomorrow is going to look like, right?
Right, right. You never know from moment to moment. So you
No,
are
never at all.
the tent issue. We talked
Hmm.
about it. And what's the
Okay.
takeaway rule of thumb again with the window tint?
Rule of thumb. So your tint on your vehicle, we understand it is the sunshine state. So today during Ask Trooper Steve, we talked specifically about that, and only when it comes to sedans. So let's talk about sedans on clickorlando.com. I'll include the information for trucks and stuff. But for vehicles, we're talking that windshield tint, that film we put on. So what we discussed was there's an AS1 indicator on your windshield. If you go out to your car, there's a little number. Can't have any tint below that. Then, of course, our front passenger and front driver window, that percentage there must allow more than 28% of light. So the lower the percentage, the darker the window tint. So we're at 28, and then of course the other windows we were looking at 15%. So there's a lot of people are really are confused, Bridgett, when it comes to tint because they think they can
Mm-hmm.
just throw whatever they want on there. And I don't think it is a malicious. I don't think anybody's out there doing it on purpose. I
Mm-hmm.
just don't think they realize that there are laws that govern the transparency of your window.
Mm-hmm.
And putting that film on there can really slow down your driving, sometimes depth perception as well, and an officer safety issue. So here in the state of Florida, we are the most probably loose when it comes to the tint because you take your Florida car into another state that doesn't allow tint, you get pulled over right away and you're like, hey, no, 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 I'm from Florida.
I never had tent until I lived in Georgia. And I was driving the first car I'd ever bought myself, and I kept bumping into people and they'd say, "Oh yeah, I saw you. I saw you here. I saw you there." And I thought I need to get those windows tinted. And so
Yes,
I
yes.
I, I did that.
It allows a little bit of privacy.
But it is good to have, in areas like Florida where you need a little bit of skin protection because everyone has more freckles on this side. So I mean, even just some tint helps with that too, not just privacy, but skin protection.
Well, yeah, before FHP started tinting their patrol cars as a standard, you'd get your patrol car without any tint on it. And it was crazy because my left arm before I went motors was always darker than my right arm because I'm driving all the time. So then we just started tinting the cars as a standard, which kind of helps out health-wise too in the long run.
Hmm. And so, where are you headed today?
Today, we're keeping on with this theme we're doing here at News 6. WKMG hits the road. So our morning contribution to that, right, is basically sending me everywhere. So I'm going to be out in East Orange County today at the Chickasaw Branch Library.
Oh, fun.
At the library branch out there from 10:30 to 11:30. I'm going to be meeting with a librarian out there, talking with them a little bit about the library system, what other resources they have other than just renting a book,
Hmm.
renting a book. Is that checking out a
Check
book? It's
out.
free, right? Yeah, checking out. Can you tell it's been a while? So I'll be out there. Anybody can come on by, say hi if you want to come out and meet me. I'll be there for an hour. And yeah, it's just part of kind of following along where the viewers want us to be.
Hmm.
And that was highly recommended as a public spot. People wanted to know a little bit about it. So we're going to take results one out there today, and I'll be live at 10:30.
Yeah, we love our county libraries, especially those, neighborhood branches. Those are awesome. All right. Well,
Well, they've
we'll
got a
be.
lot of good resources.
Yeah, they do. They do. And it's just so much now from going into the library for programming, using your, smart device to check out books and just, look at them on your phone or your tablet. So it's really an awesome resource for all of us. So we'll be looking for
Yes,
that,
ma'am.
and I'll check in with you later.
All right. Bye bye.
Thanks, Trooper Steve. We had some breaking news overnight, unfortunately, right here in Orlando, not far from our studio. Police are investigating a shooting where one person is dead and multiple others are hurt, but they're still not answering a lot of questions. This happened just after 11 p.m. on Iron Wedge Drive, just by John Young Parkway and Orange Blossom Trail. Now, we've been trying to get more answers on this, but we had a crew out there all morning during the morning news, and we're just trying to find out who was shot and if there's any suspect that they're searching for. But they indicated over the dispatch calls that as many as 9 people were involved in this. But again, we haven't gotten any confirmation from law enforcement. So we'll keep you posted on clickorlando.com. We also have a troubling update. This one's coming from Ezzy Castro. The prime suspect now being named in the case of a missing girl from Orange County is this girl's mother's boyfriend. He is now in jail. Ezzy Castro has more.
The Orange County Sheriff's Office releasing this video of Stephen Stearns in handcuffs last night. Deputies say the 37-year-old is the boyfriend of the mother of missing teen Madeline Soto. According to the Sheriff's Office, detectives discovered what they are calling disturbing images when they examined Stearns' cell phone. The arrest comes after the 13-year-old was reported missing Monday.
She has been missing since 8:30 on Monday morning when mom's boyfriend dropped her off near Hunters Creek Middle School. He dropped her off actually near the Peace United Methodist Church on Town Loop Boulevard.
Sheriff John Mina says Soto left her phone at home that day and never made it to school.
Rest assured that we are doing everything possible. We have an extensive section dedicated to working solely on finding out where Madeline is.
So we'll keep you updated as the investigation continues into the disappearance of Madeline Soto. Now we want to get to an update on the Crew 8 mission. It has been pushed back again. NASA and SpaceX announced they're pushing it back by nearly 48 hours. This was breaking news overnight. Liftoff was set for just after midnight tomorrow. However, mission managers now say bad weather is expected along the rocket's flight path. So the launch is now set for Saturday night at 11:16 p.m. When it happens, you'll be able to see it live, of course, right here on News 6, clickorlando.com, and News 6 Plus. So we'll keep you there. And we want to get to a very interesting health story this morning. There is a new endoscopy procedure available for children. And this morning we have Dr. Yaman Smati, who is a pediatric gastroenterologist with Arnold Palmer Hospital for Children. Dr. Smati, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Bridget. Good morning.
This is an exciting breakthrough because, as a parent, I understand that when you're facing any kind of medical treatment that, requires going into a surgery center or hospital and it involves your children, your heart just, it's tough. But when you start getting into having to sedate them, that's pretty scary too. And there's increased risk with that. So tell us about why this is so exciting, this new transnasal endoscopy.
Yeah, exactly. As you said, this is very exciting, mainly because it eliminates the risk of anesthesia, specifically when you treat kids. There is risk of anesthesia. The risk is minimal, and pediatric anesthesiologist now has mastered their job. They do a very good job keeping kids safe through the procedures. But if you can do the same procedure with the same outcome, without doing sedation, without exposing them to anesthesia, that is a huge milestone. So we are very excited that we started offering this in April 2023, and our center now offers transnasal endoscopy at Arnold Palmer Hospital, which is sedation-free. You can have evaluation of the GI tract, mainly the esophagus, the food tube from the mouth to the stomach, and even if needed, the small bowel, using a new technology going through the nose without anesthesia.
And when we talk about who might need this, what are the types of issues that bring up the need for this? Because it could be a wide range of things. And I would imagine now that you can do this unsedated, it might shorten the time of guesswork and trying to diagnose someone with things when you go through other processes, then go to the endoscopy. So you can get to it sooner, I would imagine too.
You are absolutely right. One nice thing about it is that this is very convenient and very easily done. The main reason this gained popularity in pediatrics because of a disease called eosinophilic esophagitis, food allergy disease in the esophagus. These kids require anesthesia and endoscopy multiple times. In one study, they underwent 11 to 14 endoscopy by the time they are 18. So multiple endoscopies, not just one time to check and diagnose and treat. They need endoscopies repeatedly to monitor and change interventions. So instead of putting them to sleep 12, 14 times with endoscopy, now we can do this without anesthesia. So the whenever you have a disease which requires multiple or repeated endoscopy, you are a great fit for transnasal endoscopy, which is sedation free.
So this
That's
also
the main.
saves money too.
It should save a lot because the cost of anesthesia by itself, the cost of operation room is eliminated here. So it does save money on the families and the whole system in general.
And it's more
And
outpatient,
as
right?
it is outpatient. We do this in an endoscopy suite, but it is outpatient. The time to from check in to check out, like facility in to facility out, is less than an hour compared to 3 to 4 hours when you do endoscopy under anesthesia. There is no recovery time, so the minute the procedure is done, you are done. You can go back to school, you can go back to activity, you can go back swimming, and the family doesn't need to take a full day of off from work to bring their kids to the procedure. The time of the procedure is 1 hour. You just need to be off for that time.
And you're probably able to get to more patients sooner too now.
Access is exactly, this definitely improves access. Sometimes we are limited with the access to endoscopy because of anesthesia and OR availability or endoscopy suite under anesthesia availability. Now that this is limited to just the endoscopist availability, it's definitely will improve access significantly.
And when it comes to, when we look at these types of procedures, I know when I've had to take my child in to the doctor, even at Arnold Palmer in some emergency situations, and they bring out anything that involves examining anything around here or a needle, they freak out. So even though there's no sedation, how are you able to sort of guide the kids through this and keep them comfortable or just keep the anxiety down?
Great question. I'm glad you asked. So, um, two things. We do this in conjunction with a child life team. There is a specialized team member who keeps them occupied, help to explain the procedure, prepare them for the procedure. And then during the procedure, we keep them distracted by video reality goggles. They are
Oh,
wearing, yes, they are wearing
I need
VR.
that.
Yeah, they can watch Moana, Disney, YouTube, anything they get the list of things they can watch the night before, and during the procedure they are distracted by what they're watching through the VR.
But I would imagine
That's
there's a little bit of invasiveness around the nose since it's transnasal. So do you numb that area any, or how does that happen without them getting upset?
You got it. So in addition to distracting them by the VR goggle, we do numb the nose and the throat
Okay,
with a medicine called lidocaine, a numbing medicine. So they really have very little discomfort, if any, going through the
great.
nose all the way.
And so is this available for big kids, grown-ups?
Of course, we, it's available once the procedure is more popular and our adult colleagues start doing it. Definitely it can be done to anyone. Our center is not limited to specifically pediatrics. We do young adults as well. I have done many who are like still college age. It's doable, but as I said, think about it. The risk of anesthesia in children is higher. That's why We are pioneering in this field.
But in the long run, do you see this type of procedure going completely unsedated? 10 years from now, no one will be put under for endoscopy, or what? What do you think?
Great question. We don't think that this is a replacement of endoscopy under anesthesia. There will be always cases where we need to look thoroughly, we need more time to obtain more samples and to do specific things during endoscopy, which is not, which is hard to do when you are not sedated. This is a
Okay.
complementary test. For example, you might need one endoscopy under anesthesia, fully evaluating everything, and then for your follow up, you can do the transnasal. So it's not to replace endoscopy under anesthesia, it's just to complement that and decrease
Mm-hmm.
the number of anesthesia and endoscopy under general anesthesia in general.
Right, right. So when you just want to go in and take a look, this is a good option now. But if you've got other procedures that need to happen involved with this viewpoint, then like you said, you're going to need some sort of sedation.
Right. What made this more available now is technology. So the instruments which we use, the scopes which we use to go and take biopsies and look, were big and did not allow taking biopsies adequately. So
Mm-hmm.
the revolution now that we have these new instruments, specifically the Evo Endo single-use scope, which are very thin, they are ultra slim
So is it
compared to
like
the previous.
would you compare it to sort of like the little straws that come with like a juice box, or what would you
Yeah,
compare that to?
it is thinner that tell my patients it's like a spaghetti noodle.
Okay.
It's that thin, very flexible, very smooth. So it's ultra slim, very thin, long enough to allows you to take biopsies from even the small bowel if you need to. Has a channel to take biopsies.
Oh, wow.
Usually the ultra slim scopes allowed you to look but not to take samples. Now they are very ultra slim, but they have a channel to take biopsies.
Very cool.
And they are single use, so you don't need to worry about reprocessing them, cleaning them. Every patient gets his own scope, and we throw it away after the procedure.
Very promising. Well, this is very exciting news. And so, if people want to know more about it, just talk to their pediatricians, or if they're going through some things with pediatric gastroenterology, talk to their doctors.
Yes, exactly. Anytime now, exactly as you said, anytime my kids need a procedure, I usually discuss with the surgeon or with the procedure physician. Is there a minimally invasive way to do this? You know how we moved from open surgeries to laparoscopic surgeries and now
Mm-hmm.
robotic surgeries. Same thing for endoscopy. Anytime you need an endoscopical evaluation, ask your gastroenterologist or your pediatrician, is there a way to do this as minimally invasive as it can be done and specifically sedation free?
We love it. Those are the key words. So that's good news. Well, Dr. Smati, thank you so much for taking some time to tell us about this transnasal endoscopy option now available for the pediatric patients at Arnold Palmer Hospital for Children. Have a great day. Thanks for being with us and come back
Thanks.
soon.
Thank you, Bridget. Thanks for having me on. Thank you.
All right. And happy leap day. All
You
right.
too. You too. Bye bye.
All right. All right. If you're feeling lucky and you like Tim McGraw, definitely head on over to clickorlando.com. We have a new contest, 2 chances to win tickets to see Tim McGraw. The contest runs from now through March 6th. And so what you're going to get is basically a chance to go to a standing room only show in Tampa on March 15th. It starts at 7:30 at the Emily Arena in Tampa. So sign up to be an insider if you're not an insider yet, and then you can enter to win after you go through all the verification processes to sign up to be an insider. That is free. It's always free. It's free to enter these contests. And good luck, and take me with you if you win. Give me a call, email, reach out, Facebook. Again, clickorlando.com/insider. And we want to remind you, WKMG is hitting the road. Like Trooper Steve mentioned, he's headed out to the same area today, to the Chickasaw Orange County Library branch. And 1 week from today, we are taking that newscast on the road, and you're invited to join us Wednesday, March 6th, 4 to 7 p.m. at the Reno Pinar Golf Club in East Orange County. You can swing by any time between 4 and 7 and meet our crew. Our news anchors, investigative team will be there, and we're going to give out some cool News 6 swag, so hope to see you there. That's going to do it for this Leap Day edition of Breakfast with Bridgett. Weather-wise with meteorologist Jonathan Kegas is up next right here on News 6 Plus. I'll see you back at noon on News 6 WKMG on your TV and clickorlando.com. And we'll see you tomorrow for hopefully a happy Friday. Make it a great day.